stopping by at my channel. I am so glad to see you guys here. So I would talk about a few of the elephants in the room right now, but I'm not going to. Instead, I'm going to talk to you guys about this really awesome book that I just finished reading not too long ago, and I want to tell you guys about it because I feel like I should. Before I even begin, if you hear like noise in the background, my dog's playing, and right now he decided to just get the loudest toy he possibly could and just like started playing with it. So that's what's happening right now. So I just finished reading The Girl on the Train by Paula Hopkins. Hopkins is not that. So I just finished reading The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. I always say Paula Hopkins, and I'm like, this is not Ellen Hopkins' sister. Like, what am I doing? Sorry. If you guys haven't already heard, or you don't know already, The Girl on the Train is a book to movie adaptation. If you've seen the movie already, please no spoilers, because I haven't seen it yet. I wanted to do like a trailer reaction, but then I realized that I had already seen the trailer. That was how I came across the book. I had actually, like, I've seen the book before. Like, the movie wasn't the first time that I saw the name of the book. I think, like, I kind of was aware of it when it first came out, but I never really wanted to, like, invest time into it. I thought I wasn't going to like it. I don't know why. I just thought, like, when it came out, I was still in that mentality that, like, oh, I can only read YA books. Like, I don't like fiction books. But now I'm more like, you know, fiction books aren't that bad. And I really want to be able to, like, bring more fiction books onto this channel. Because I feel like I grew up with YA. I love YA books. I think there's a time and place for certain genres in your life, and right now YA doesn't really connect with me as much as it did. I mean, there are still a lot of YA books that I like can relate to, but for the most part, when you're looking at the YA tropes, I don't really connect to that anymore, because like I'm not in high school, I'm not dealing with young love. So I feel like fiction novels now have just like so much substance to it, and like have just so much to it on its own that I don't know, I'm starting to like it. But I've noticed that I'm not really like I don't know, but I'm not really too into like romance fiction books. I like more of like mystery and like suspense fiction. So if you guys have any good recommendations, please let me know, because I'm always looking for like new fiction books to get my hands on. So The Girl on the Train is a like mystery, suspenseful type of fiction novel. You get a little bit of romance, but not too much. Like, that's not the main focus, but if you do like romance, you get that in there, so you can look forward to that. In this novel, you get 3 different perspectives, but our main character is Rachel. She's like a 20-something-year-old who just got out of a really bad divorce. She just lost her job. She's living at her old college friend's house, who like she doesn't even know that well. And not only that, but she's also lying to her friend who's letting her live in her house. She's lying to her and telling her that everything's a-okay. She's not an alcoholic. She didn't lose her job. She's not going into London every single day, Monday through Friday, 8 to 6, pretending that she's going to work. She's not doing that. But in reality, she is. Our main focus with her is her trips from to and from London while she's on the train. So when she's on the train, when she's going and when she's coming back home, she passes by her old house that she used to live in with her ex-husband. So with this, you kind of start to get like a little bit of like how her life was when she was with her ex-husband, and it kind of like intertwines into itself as to why like everything happened, because she does drink a lot and, you know, all that stuff. Her doing that still keeps her in that same place, and she's not able to move on. So the way that she's able to mentally move on is by peering into other people's lives, and she doesn't do it very often, but she does it enough so that when she passes by the train, she not only looks at her own house or her old house, but she's also looking at a couple's house a few doors down. The story doesn't begin to pick up until she sees something in one of those houses that she wasn't supposed to see, or that now that she's seen it, she feels like it's her duty to say something about it, because what she sees is something that is extremely pertinent to the main climax of the story. And then from there is when it kind of starts to pick up. So she doesn't want to put herself in the situation because she doesn't want to come off as stalkerish, because she has no relation to these people. She doesn't know how she's going to be able to put in what her part of the story is, or even if it even matters, but she feels like she still has to. So you kind of get like her being torn into what it is that she should do, and also the fact that she's an alcoholic and she knows that nobody's going to trust her, and like she's just off the rails. So there's a lot of conflict with this main character that I really liked, because it just added to the suspense, because you kind of like, you do get that aspect of like, you feel bad for her, but at the same time, the things that she does kind of makes it difficult to have pity for her. But as the story begins to, you know, take its place, you're starting to get a side of her that, you know, she's able to commit herself into something that is distracting her from her divorce, from her alcoholism, from the fact that she doesn't have a job. So things do take place in favor for her, but it's not up until the very, very end. So you have throughout the whole entire story, you just have like a whole bunch of backlash happening to her, and no one thinking that she's trustworthy, and people just thinking that she wants attention. That's why she's like trying to get into the story and trying to like put herself into place and get in contact with people who are involved with the main situation of the story. Our other two characters are important as well, one more important than the other, but I'm not going to get too into it. What I am going to say, if you do read this book, I would keep in mind that Paula Hawkins, there I go again. Paula Hawkins, she does switch back and forth between timelines. So do pay attention to that. I listened to it through audiobook on my scribd account, so I wasn't able to like physically see it. It wasn't up until like a few chapters in that I noticed that she was doing that. It wasn't a big deal, but just keep that in mind because I had no clue. But it did start to make sense as to why like she was going back and forth within the timelines. The reason that we get 3 different main perspectives is because their stories do intertwine, and you kind of start to see what everyone was thinking. That's what I really liked about it. You got to see what everyone was thinking. And you even see, I think we do get one of the male characters. I don't remember. I feel like it's more than 3 characters that we get their main perspective. Overall, the book was really good, you guys. Like, if you haven't read this book, oh my god, it is so good. Paul Hawkins does such a great job to just keep you on edge. Like, I'm going to talk about this other book that I read right after that kind of had the same type of premise, but it just wasn't as good. This book just like, it was just so like, I don't even know, like, it was just really, it was a really great book. It was amazingly written. It just like kept me on my toes. I wanted to keep reading it. I actually used this as a way to get myself out of bed and go running in the morning. Like, one night I was like, you know what? I know I have to go running, but I'm gonna try to listen to the audiobook while I go running. The time that I got the most out of the book was when I was running, because I was able to just give myself like 30 minutes to listen to it. And then after, when like I was just like getting ready and stuff like that, I would also be listening to the audiobook. But I was able to give myself 30 minutes in the morning, and it really helped me go out and go running. I told my boyfriend like my idea, and he was like, I don't know how productive that's gonna be, and like, or how like motivational it's gonna be, which I understand, because like when I was running, I'm kind of like, okay, but it gave me something to like pay attention to and engage myself in and like fully focus on it, because I had nothing else to really like put my mind on. So at least that helped. But yeah, like the fact that this book was written so well is just amazing. I really want to read like her other books. If you guys have like read any of her other works, let me know. I would love to know what you guys recommend of hers, because I really liked it. I do want to give you guys recommendations if you haven't already. If you have already read this book and you want something similar, when I was reading it, I really got a very similar, like, a Gone Girl feel by Gillian Flynn. So if you haven't read Gone Girl already, you can kind of get that same feel. I do have to say, this book was a lot better than Gone Girl. Like, honestly, it was so much better than Gone Girl. I feel like I just felt so much more connected to the characters. I don't know, I guess because of, like, all of the conflict that was happening. It was very, like, dramatic, but it was also, like, it made sense. Nothing was, like, over the top. It all kind of, like, fit within itself. I will also recommend You by Caroline Kepnes. That's also, like, a suspenseful thriller type of novel. I did do a review on it on my blog if you want to read the review. I don't know if I had any spoilers in it. I don't think I did, but you can also read the review there. What I am going to say that I didn't like about the book so much was the ending, mostly because it just I don't know. I don't know what it was about the ending, but I wasn't feeling it. Like, I understand the ending, but I just wasn't feeling it. While you're reading the whole entire book, you're trying to figure out who is the bad guy, but you don't know. Like, you kind of, there's a point that I was questioning everybody. Like, I was questioning the main characters. I was questioning anybody that, like, she had interactions with. I was like, is it you? I'm keeping an eye on you. I don't know. I was, like, keeping track of every single character. And I think that's also what's, like, really good about the book, because you want to pay really close attention. And it's not even, like, you have to, but it's just that you want to, because you're, like, I felt like I was a little detective along with Rachel while I was, like, doing this. There were points that I even thought Rachel was a bad guy. I was just like, I don't trust anyone. Who the antagonist was, it wasn't predictable at all, in the sense that, like, I just didn't think it was them, but it made sense. I was just caught off guard, and then quickly I was just like, okay, that makes sense. I get it. It's fucking brutal. Like, this book is fucking brutal. Like, it's gory in its own way, and it's just like, the things that happen is just so crazy, and it could have just all been prevented, but kind of, not really, kind of, yeah, kind of, no, not really. I don't know, I really liked the book. I really enjoyed reading it. If you guys have any book if you guys have any book recommendations, please bring them my way. I'm always more than eager to read new books and to see what you guys have to recommend. But yeah, that's basically it. I haven't done a book review in, like, a while. I tried filming this last week, and it just, like, I didn't get to finish it, and I deleted the footage because I was like, I don't have time for that. I just have to start from the beginning. But, yeah. I really liked it. Over here, you'll be able to follow me on social media sites. I'm on Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, Goodreads, I have my own blog, yeah. And I am going to be doing Vlogmas this year. I'm really excited. I think, I'm going to, like, do something fun, though, for Vlogmas. Like, I'm not going to just do it, like, me vlogging and, like, talking to the camera, because that might get boring after a while, and, like, my life isn't that interesting. Like, sometimes I literally just stay home all day, and I'm just, like, I'm a hermit crab. But, yeah, I'm gonna probably try to do, like, every day is a different topic, so I'll try to, like, intertwine those topics within, like, my day-to-day. So, yeah, feel free to subscribe if you like my videos, and stay tuned for next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for stopping by. I really appreciate you guys, and yes.